What's up, guys?
Drugs here, and today we're gonna tell you how MDMA lurks.
It's time to do drugs.
Drugs.
See, you're not a true anime fan.
Fuck, I'm not a real My Hero Academia fan. Fuck, it comes full circle.
I'm a big bitch.
Shaggy was sucking it better. Where's that
God, dude. And it turns out my leg hair was standing up through the pants, and I was pulling my leg hair.
What the fuck are you doing?
I don't fucking know, man.
We're gonna speed run this episode.
No, don't do that.
No, don't do that at all.
What is up, beautiful people? I'm your host, Alex. Let's get right. It's episode 19 of the Unboxing Life podcast.
Yeah.
Is that a fucking drama alert meme? Is that what that was?
I feel like that was Dashy.
You gotta.
Let's go.
I thought that was anyway.
I'm joined today by my man Cameron,
What's going on, everybody?
David,
Hey.
and last but certainly not least, Trevor.
Hey, I appreciate it.
And we are the Unboxing Life podcast. Today's docket, we're going to talk about the Benny the Butcher shooting, the Promised Neverland, and aliens?
Aliens? Maybe. Aliens?
All right.
Question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aliens?
Alright.
Question mark? Question mark?
I love that.
All right. Let's get into the traditions. Cameron, you want to go first?
I would love to, Alex. That sounded like a Jeopardy thing, actually.
Oh, nice.
My moan sounded like the Jeopardy beep.
I'll take.
I would love to, Alex.
I'll take fun facts.
Obviously.
No. I was. Jesus Christ. Now who's a bot? Fucking Christ. We all are. My God. All right. Well then, I'll take a fun fact for 1,000, Alex.
Okay. Read it off. Actually, Alex can't read it off because he doesn't know. So
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna do it for him. This bit doesn't work 1-to-1, but I'm rolling with it anyway. All right. So
Okay.
the founder of Hyundai, the car company, was born to an impoverished family of peasants in what is now North Korea. In 1998. He sent 1,001 cows to his hometown in North Korea as repayment.
cows.
Me and cows, honestly. Yeah, this is another cow fact, interestingly enough. Throwback to the cow in Cuba that got smoked by a U.S. rocket. If you haven't heard that one, I don't know which fucking episode that is, but if you get the reference, then thanks for listening.
That was the first one I was on.
I have no idea. But
Anyway,
he sent 1,001 cows to his hometown in North Korea as repayment 1,000 times over for a cow that he stole in the early 1930s to afford his train ticket to Seoul and escape from poverty.
Dang.
He stole a cow, sold it off, bought his ticket to Seoul, South Korea. I don't think it was South Korea at that time, just Korea. But yeah, and he went to the city and made it. Became the founder of a massive car company.
that's a lot of moo for one moo.
Cool.
So if you gotta steal a cow to achieve your dreams, get it done.
Hey, I
Get
drive
the
a Hyundai.
moolah.
But you gotta pay it back.
Yeah,
You gotta pay it back 1,000 times over once you make it.
There you go.
Alex does drive a Hyundai, so
Yeah.
he should know.
Dang. You can thank that guy stealing the cow. That's
Yeah.
great.
He knows all about the cow culture.
It's legitimately funny to me though that he sent 1,001, like very specifically, like gave like exactly 1,000 more than one that he stole. So
It's dope.
Hey,
Because he had to give the original one back and then 1,000 more on that.
both the original,
Oh.
the original's probably fucking
He
dead.
gave the original cow, yeah.
Yeah. That cow definitely lived the however many decades that it took the guy to become a industry magnate.
Dang. That's
All right.
dope.
Hit us with. I want to hear the Laffy Taffy. Laffy Taffy.
all right. Yeah, because I'm sure everybody's dying to know the second joke.
Oh god,
on
it's
the
coming.
Oh,
It's
trick
actually
me,
coming
dude.
directly off of Laffy Taffy again. I'm gonna fucking
Sense of
We
foreboding.
All
Second
right.
joke. You have to. I'm sure everybody's wondering. What is
murder
this?
me, bro. Murder me.
So we heard 50 Cent last week. We heard of 50 Cent. Let's see if we heard of
Heard.
Hove or something.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Goddamn.
What did the British umpires? What did the British umpire say to the batter?
Nice ass.
Yeah, that's on the back of the. Honestly, if that was on the back of the Laffy
Laffy.
Taffy, I'd start buying Laffy Taffy immediately because that'd be dope.
Hit us with it.
Nice ass.
He said, "Europe."
Oh my god! Leave right now, man.
Europe. I actually like that.
I actually
one.
kind of like that one. Yeah,
I
that's at least a little clever as opposed to just being
was-
terrible.
That was easily the
I mean, it's-
biggest dad joke you've ever told on this show.
Yeah, definitely,
And by far, it's
You're
not
right.
even fucking close.
definitely.
That
It's
was
so
incredible. Oh my god.
It could be from any European nation, and it could be the same thing.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Stay tuned next week when I start telling holiday jokes.
Stay tuned.
Oh, I'm
freak.
actually excited for that. That's gonna be good.
Yes.
While we're very directly on the topic, I wanted to say, I was swiping through Tinder the other day, and I'm for everyone who has heard me reference my girlfriend before. I don't think I've said this on the podcast yet, but we are now broken up. Have been for a little while now. But I was just trolling through Tinder.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Yeah, we can. I wanted to say,
Can
Alex.
we tell the story?
Yes, we should.
Yeah,
So
okay,
Alex,
good.
Alex brought this to us, so I think Alex should be the one to tell it because it was like I was feeling a little down about the breakup, and then this story specifically was like, wow, she's like ridiculously petty, and I just don't care anymore. So,
Sorry.
so yeah, it was a. But anyway, I won't get into the details of the breakup. But the story is her YouTube comment that you
Yeah,
found,
so-
Oh,
or that you
Yeah,
found.
Go ahead.
yeah,
But
yeah.
didn't
Good.
find
No,
it.
let him tell. Let him tell.
Yeah, yeah.
I was looking through
I
old
wanted to.
videos when we. It was before I was on the podcast. I was like, because I remember there was podcasts, and like when we first started out, everybody was coming out to support all the peoples. And I mean, she had a comment, but like I've come to realize that the comment is no longer in the comment section of that video. So big shout out.
Yeah.
So
So
she never listened to us like at all.
No.
And she goes back. She had to search our video and
Yeah.
delete the one comment that she put
So-
to support her boyfriend at the time. It's
yeah,
so funny.
that's exactly what was insane to me. Was the fact that like I talked to Trevor about this extensively of like when you spend 2.5 years with someone and then break up with them, that it takes a while to like untangle your life from theirs. Essentially, I mean, we didn't live together or anything, but she still had shit over my place and I had shit over her place, and we follow each other on every social media and all that. So like, it was the story I told was like, okay, I unfollowed her on like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and all this shit, and then I'm like, still like 3 days later, I play a game on PC for the first time, and I still have her added on Steam, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like how many fucking connections do I have to this one person? So that's like that. I was doing that passively, like as I came across it. So I log into Twitter and I'm like, oh, I still follow her, so I unfollow, whatever. Not that she even uses Twitter, but I was just passively doing that as I came across it. She never listened to like a minute. I'm not here to fucking chat shit about Sydney because she's great. We didn't work together. That's fine. But
Be the bigger man.
she didn't listen to like a minute of any of our podcasts, and we broke up when we had put out like 13 episodes or something like that. It was like
14, yeah.
it was about a month ago, I think, or a bit over a month ago. So yeah, we had like a lot of content out and a lot of stuff that I was recommending her and telling her like, you know, I value your opinion. I want you to listen to this, like all this stuff. And she hadn't listened to a second of it. So, but I was like, yo, can you just at least go like leave a comment or whatever? We want like interactions, boost the podcast up, like get some numbers. And she was like, yeah, sure. So she goes and leaves like the most generic ass comment
basic
ever,
comment.
where it was like, love listening to these guys talk about a variety of topics. Great episode.
Look forward to this every week.
Look forward to this every week. And she fucking, yeah, which couldn't have been a bigger lie. But she like uses YouTube kind of, but like that's what Trevor was saying is, and what I was saying is that I was like removing her from stuff as I came across it. She would have had to remember like actively, and it was episode 5 or something. So this was like 2 months ago from the breakup that she left this comment. So like she leaves the comment, 2 months pass, we break up. She remembers in her head that I left one comment on one video that I did not watch and went and deleted it. Which is insane. Like when Alex told me that, I like lost my shit. I was like, I was doing laps around my room. I was like, what the fuck? That's the most petty bullshit I've heard in my entire fucking life. Like I didn't remember that she left the comment. So, but Alex went back and was like, it's missing. Like it's just not there. So wow, that was fucking insane. So thanks for that. Yeah.
So to all the single people out there, Cameron is now mingle.
So that's ready to mingle.
That's the breakup officially out on the podcast and everything. But the story I was originally telling is that I was trolling through Tinder and shit, got a few matches, and in this girl's bio she goes, send me a dad joke. And I'm not talking to her anymore. We had like a bit of a conversation, but she was like an airhead basically. Like it just died out, so I was like, I don't fucking care.
Not thick enough.
Right. Yeah.
Text later. So conversation died out, but obviously, as anyone who's been on Tinder knows, the most difficult part about Tinder is actually getting people to pay attention to you and like start the thing and start an actual conversation, especially for guys. Like you send a girl like whatever and then just get like fully left on red because she has fucking 10 other guys in her inbox, so it's whatever. So she said, send me a dad joke. And what I sent her was David's Halloween dad joke, because it was Halloween at the time, so it was like holiday appropriate too.
That's good.
So I sent her the why can't ghosts have kids? Was that it? Because they have Halloweenies. Yeah.
Halloweenies, yeah.
I sent her that, and she was like, "Oh my god, that's dope!" And I wanted to save. I was saving this story in case like we actually got together one way or another or something like that. But that I've unmatched her since then, so it's like doesn't matter. Man. So, but yeah, that was I used the joke you put on the you said on the podcast as a pickup line, and it worked. So there you go.
That's awesome. If you guys are getting together, you could have just thanked my dad for your relationship.
Yeah, basically.
Obviously, it didn't work.
Yeah, I don't think it worked out, but
no, I mean,
you gotta laugh her panties off.
Yeah, I mean, it worked out in initiating the conversation, and then the conversation was just dry as fuck after that. So I was like, all right, I don't fucking care about this.
Women,
am I right?
Women.
Yeah.
Sorry to all our women listeners, but man, y'all, some of y'all suck.
we all suck. We all suck. Yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of people who just like have this weird opinion that the guy should be carrying the conversation, or a lot of people in general that like don't take interest in having good conversation, which is obnoxious. So
you cannot carry a conversation, even if you are able to carry the conversation. Like it's just like if you have to bounce off. Like there has to be some chemistry. You can't just give me one-word answers and expect me to give you 50 and ask you how your day was as well.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Is like the conversation dried up. Is I'll text her like a couple sentences that are like open ended or whatever. Like I'll say something and then be also like opening up the conversation to her, and she's just like, cool, and then doesn't say anything else. And then I text like another day later, and I'm like, yo, like, what's up? And she's like, nothing much. And it's like, that's all the conversation is. And it's like, bro, like,
I hate
how the fuck am I supposed to like? How are we supposed to build any sort of relationship if like you're just not actively not talking to me? But it's a lot to ask of a dating app as vapid as Tinder and most dating apps. Really,
dating apps are really bad in general. So everyone has a bad experience.
At a certain point, I literally just I swiped right on everyone. Like every day I would get like new swipes or whatever, and I would just swipe right, like, and I would wait until I was done, and then anything that was connected, I would just try my shot, and then that'd be it. I spent way too much time on those stupid apps.
Yeah, I think we told the story of 8 dating apps and Fortnite and stuff. Yeah, that was fucking funny.
Yeah, because girls are getting all these like messages. Like I was even talking with a recent match of mine about like our different experiences on it, and she just has like 40 other guys she's matched with or whatever. So it's like,
and you get one every month. It's like it sucks.
I don't know about that, but
she's getting. Give David more credit. Come on, bro. You see that stash? You see that stash, bro?
For real.
Gosh.
No, it is like that.
Dude,
No.
he had
Wow.
some fucking psychopathic pictures on his profile, dude. I
I had
swear to
the
God. Dude,
I
he
had
looked
the-
like deadpan, like he had a knife behind his back, like just waiting to stab some dude in the neck.
Wait, did he have that one picture where he was like, I forget what he was doing. He had like a hat on or something.
Huh?
That's very
I don't think-
specific.
I mean, look at David's older Instagram pictures, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
That's
But
them? Is that them?
that
Those
well,
are
it
the
was. I don't
pictures?
know if he improved them or not, but he never smiles in his pictures.
I improved my profile. Yeah.
I'm glad.
I
I'll
was
get
telling David he needs to include his SoundCloud and his profile. That'll do it.
I didn't do that. I just have a picture of me with a mustache, and I get a lot more matches now.
Yeah,
There
dude.
you
No,
go.
you gotta get some groupies, dude. Get some groupies on your dick.
Groupies.
Yeah,
Anyone
put that-
asked you if
link
the-
that SoundCloud.
Insane.
Make your own album your anthem on Tinder or whatever.
Insane
God.
behavior.
No, make fucking Unboxing Life your anthem.
I almost
On
did that actually when I
Spotify,
was
yeah.
like, I mean, I got back on Tinder just to troll through and like remember what it is to be single. And I was like thinking that I was like, what if I just put the fucking podcast in here and just like match with people and don't try to actually interact with them, but just link the podcast in their messages and then just not care whether or not they unmatch me.
Yeah,
Viral marketing.
that is hilarious.
It's
Yeah.
actually the opposite of
I don't
viral
know.
marketing. It's very door to door, but anyway.
Yeah. There you
Fucking
go.
Christ.
All right.
Well,
Well,
Tinder's
we
bad.
haven't gotten into our.
Do you want to give us the
is a
your
brilliant-
Daddy David track of the week?
Brilliant tangent. I love it.
Daddy David track of the week. Well, it kind of works out. We're already talking about relationship stuff and dating
Dang.
trouble.
Oh, don't give us the Black Thought relationship track on that.
And not every song.
I was gonna say every week.
It is.
This is now a Black Thought podcast.
I
Oh
hate
my
that track.
I like that one, but it's not that. You freak. It
You
is.
freak. You freak.
If it doesn't have Black Thought, we riot. Like that's David's
Yeah.
mentality.
I know. He's so good though. But it is from 2015, and it is called Jungle by Drake.
We lit! We lit! Yo, we lit.
So,
I adore
Yeah.
this track. Shout out to David.
Let's go.
I'm actually gonna try so hard to get the video working for next week so that you guys can actually see Trevor explode every time David fucking announces
Dude.
a track because he just
Well,
like
David and I, like, in terms of hip hop, we have like so much in common.
Yeah.
Anytime he says the track,
Of course.
I just, like scream.
Yeah,
dope.
dude.
No, that's good.
all right, Jungle by
Yeah.
Drake. Tell us about it.
So this was actually a contender for one of my favorite beats of all time.
We lit.
Oh
my God.
podcast. I think this song is just beautiful, man. It I want to get into the sample is I think is so perfect. Produced by
Yeah.
40, of course, Drake's main man.
Mhm.
Sample of Gabriel Garzon Montano. There you go. It's so like yeah. It's like a sparse like super atmospheric beat. It just
Minimalistic.
yeah. It's so nice to I don't know. The whole like it's sort of like semi storytelling about like this girl who lives in the jungle, which is like a neighborhood in Toronto, like this bad neighborhood apparently, and just talking about how their relationship is like what's that one line that's like my favorite line in the song is
Give me a couple words and I'll try and remember it.
I'm trying to maybe I have to look it up.
Give him the line before. That's the game. You give him the one line at the start of the verse and then just let him go like a fucking what are those like the wind up dolls or whatever. You like crank the knob on the back and let him walk around.
They go to
Nah.
school and do a bottle service.
No, it's feel like we're one and the same. Our relationship changed. Either that or it never existed. Yeah, dude. That's dope.
Whenever you say something about us, you listen.
They listen. Yeah, man.
I think I actually don't know this song. I don't know that I've heard this.
What?
Yeah. believe it or
Oh,
not.
this is off of
What?
if you're reading this, it's too late. Which
Okay.
is
I haven't listened
top
to that.
fucking
So
tier Drake.
Dang.
Absolute
Yeah.
top tier Drake. That's a
Alex
great
got the
song.
bird on his head right now.
Yeah.
I just look over. God damn. All right. Jungle by
Yeah.
Drake.
That's one
yeah.
of my favorite tracks by him too.
That's awesome. It's one of mine. Yeah, and I
Have you
didn't know
just-
if that was the case.
Have you ever listened to this like in the car at night?
I think so. Yeah.
Ugh,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
a whole another experience with that song. Especially on
it's
the highway. I don't know what it is. Oh, David's gotten a call.
got a call. I muted it. It's a spam call. Don't worry. But yeah, it's one of those songs that like sends you to another place. I think that beat is
For
so
sure.
beautiful.
It's incredible.
God dang, yeah.
Shout
If
out.
you're not even a typical Drake fan, I would still recommend it. Like, I'm not the biggest like Drake listener of all time, like Trevor, but I absolutely love this song.
That was one of the tracks that I put in because like Rocio and I will make playlists for each other, like very so often. Like,
oh, that's cute.
Rare. Yeah, it's cute.
No sarcasm. No sarcasm. That is actually is cute. I'm actually like being sportive.
Well, I appreciate it.
I think that's legitimately cute. That's cool.
We make Spotify playlists for each other, and that was one. I think that was like on the first one that I ever made for her. I don't know if she remembers or not, but I love you, baby. Don't delete your comments when we break up.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. My Instagram looks like I haven't touched it in fucking like 2.5 years now. The most recent, because like Sydney was like 2/3 of my Instagram or more. So I haven't literally I only posted when I was I only posted photos of me and her on my Instagram for like for the duration of our relationship, because I've never been a huge poster on Instagram in general. I think I was like a month late to my own birthday and like a week late to posting the anniversary shit, so it's whatever. I just don't think about it, but yeah. My Instagram is fucking empty. I gotta take some new pictures.
Selfies, yeah. I'm disappointed in how much of mine is just selfies and like just weird selfies.
I think I have like
I don't know,
like one proper selfie on my thing, and then everything else is like someone takes a picture for us. I hate selfies. I always look bad.
I switched it up with like the concert stuff, and the sunset was. I definitely wanted to do that, but
for sure.
I never post either.
Got to spice up your Instagram.
Yeah, it's bad.
Well,
do you want to give us the track one more time? I want to hear the track one more time.
Jungle by Aubrey Drake Graham, aka Drake, Drizzy Drake.
We lit. He's supposed to drop his album in January. That's apparently the release date. So
look forward to that episode.
We will be talking about that. Yeah, we will be talking about that.
Yeah.
For certain.
All right.
We got one tradition left, like 20 minutes in.
So I'm gonna do what Cameron suggested I do.
Oh, you are?
Before we started the podcast, yeah. So in the food chain, I'm the one that eat ya. If he ate my ass, he's a bottom feeder. Big D stand for big demeanor.
Yeah.
I could make you bust before I ever meet you. If it don't hang, then he can't bang. You can't hurt my feelings, but I like pain. If he fuck me and ask who is it, when I ride the dig, I'ma spell my name.
So true.
Jesus Christ.
So true.
So the bottom feeder part was what I didn't like. The bottom feeder part was what I didn't like, but
you didn't like that?
I'm a bottom feeder then, and I hate that.
Oh,
I know, it sounds like an insult. It's like
it is.
It only took us 19 episodes to talk about eating ass on the podcast.
Yeah, but like we don't have the listener base to talk about that, so we're gonna save that for episode 100.
Definitely not.
Yeah, that's the what is that concept in calculus where it gradually approaches infinity?
It's a limit.
Yeah, that's every podcast eventually.
We have eventually we're gonna talk about some raunchy topics, but not right now. Not when our mothers listen. So
yeah. No, Big D stands for big demeanor is my favorite line on that song though. No cap, that's freaking great, dude. I love it.
Wait, you should call yourself that.
Big demeanor. God damn.
David Big Demeanor Williams.
Oh my god.
In quotes. God damn.
That is horrific. I love it, man.
All right.
What if it's because he's Day Vision? It'll be Big Demeanor.
Oh my god.
That's true. I like that. Yeah, I like that.
Demeanor.
Big demeanor.
All right.
That just sounds like separate words at that point, though, kind of.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so we're gonna change gears a little bit. And
massively.
Some a serious topic real quick.
Yeah, it happened recently.
So if you don't know, Benny the Butcher, who was a guy that we talked about a few weeks back, he released an album last month. One of our favorite rappers, or at least for me, one of my new favorite rappers.
Sure.
He got shot in Houston Monday at a Walmart during an attempted robbery, and it was only in the leg, so he was able to survive. He recovered. Apparently he even tried to like drive himself to the hospital and realized he couldn't because his leg was so fucked up.
Damn.
That he called an EMT. But I woke up on Monday, and it was like 8 o'clock, and I'm like ready to go listen to my lecture, and I look at my phone and I see a text from my mother, and I just see the article headline and it says rapper Benny the Butcher shot, and my heart dropped like
You're
instant.
like, fuck.
Dude, I was like,
what else can
could not,
2020 take from us? Yeah.
Dude, like, because 2 rappers died like in the last 2 weeks. Like King Von died, and this rapper Mo3, I think he's from Dallas.
Yeah.
He got killed on the highway. Like it's horrific shit's happening right now. But like I couldn't stomach losing another one of my favorite rappers. So I'm very thankful that he's okay. But I did want to ask you guys, like, I guess a victim blaming question, because I saw this on very, very sparsely. It wasn't like, hey, yo, you shouldn't be doing this. Like, it was very rare that I saw these comments. But the first thing I thought of when I saw people blaming him for wearing chains in public was, okay, that's definitely wrong, right? Because you can't blame the victim. But my mind went to drawing a parallel between that and, I want to say this as lightly as possible. I don't want it to come off weird, but like saying that women shouldn't wear provocative clothing if they don't want to get raped.
Right, it's like the same principle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before I answer that, so the Benny the Butcher shooting, he was like covered in jewelry, whatever, and so they were mugging him.
Yeah.
Okay. The way you said it,
he wasn't trying
the way you said it, I thought like someone was robbing like the till at the fucking Walmart, and he was like wrong place, wrong time. So they were actively mugging him.
They were trying to.
He ended up getting
they were
shot.
Trying to snatch his chain
during the mugging. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, like the whole like that's where my mind went, was like, you can't blame him for wearing what he spent his entire life trying to get, which was money. Like he made it out of the shithole that he was living in Buffalo. So he flaunts his shit just like a hot chick would flaunt her tits at downtown. Like, and you can't say, hey, yo, if you don't want to get raped, you shouldn't wear shit that shows your cleavage. Just like how you shouldn't say, if you don't want to get robbed, you shouldn't show your fucking iced out rollie.
Yeah, it's a horrible way to look at things, definitely.
Yeah. I think there's an interesting line there because, or not a line, but I don't know how to phrase it. But my thinking on it is that, like, obviously it's wrong to tell like women or anyone that they got raped because of it's their fault they got raped. Like that's obviously entirely wrong. But the world is like super fucked up, so it's like. It's definitely not. So it's like if you go to a Walmart in a shitty neighborhood, all jeweled out, like you're making yourself a little bit of a target. Which is not, the same. Which is, I was gonna say, is not the same as, because like stealing from someone versus raping them are two very, very different crimes, obviously.
But he could have died.
He could have, yeah. So. My like hard stance is you can't blame the victim. My like qualification, I guess, is that like the world is fucked up. Like you can't trust people, basically. Like you can't trust strangers on the street to treat you properly. So give them a bit less of an opportunity to treat you poorly. Is basically my take. Is like
that goes into like
don't. I mean, yeah. I'm saying there's like precautions you can take, but he shouldn't have to take them for sure.
Yeah, that goes into like, I think what you're saying is the advice thing. Like it's still none of the blame. Like the person who gonna commit these like violent acts is 100% to blame. It's not that. It's like
exactly.
It's just like the advice you would give your son or daughter. Or
that's how I was approaching it. Yeah. It's like if I have a daughter, I'm like. Obviously going to be like, you know, like men are assholes, you know, maybe like cover up a little bit so that you don't get assholes like shouting at you and all this stuff. It's like stress that you can save yourself. But it's obviously like people are going to dress how they want to dress and wear what kind of jewelry they want to wear, whatever makes them happy and feel good. But the world is a fucked up place, so there is some inherent risk in having that freedom.
I think that.
Oh, go ahead.
I will say, like, it's less of like blaming the victim, but it's more of that's just the reality of the environment that you're placed in. Like, I was watching like the Wu-Tang Saga, and like that's the mentality, like they have, because they had like chain snatching and stuff.
Yeah.
But like that's just the reality of it. Like, if you go out into like a sketchy area and you're chained out, someone will look at that and say, let's go rob him. That's the way, unfortunately, it is. It's a terrible thing, and it's obviously not his fault for wearing chains, but you do have to recognize that there's people that want to do harm, and they don't care.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, that it just keeps like making me think, like, would you tell that to a woman though? Like,
no, I think no, like
it's more extreme.
Yeah, I think it's the same principle, except it's more extreme for a woman, because it's like, I mean, first of all, a guy who looks bummy and stuff is probably not gonna get mugged at all, and a woman, no matter what she's wearing, is at risk of like sexual assault and stuff. And also and also, no matter what she's wearing, you could say it's a little bit different from wearing jewelry, but like still, like I would go with the advice thing. Like I wouldn't say like any blame to either one of them. I think, like, same as Alex is saying, like, the reality is, the world is really messed up, and it's still not like, oh, you didn't realize the world was messed up. It's just like, dang, you still, at the end of the day, you say that freaking sucks. The person who did that was 100% in the wrong. But again, if you're like, people, even with interactions with like whatever, just like the stay safe thing, like, when you're going out, try to stay safe and whatever. That's all. It's just, I'd tell my.
What?
But it's not, like I would want my daughter to, have self-defense skills and carry pepper spray or whatever. But, it's not, if someone is not carrying those things, no one's at blame for walking down the freaking street alone or whatever. The person who attacked them is entirely at blame. It's not, people are doing normal human things and completely innocent, and it's not their fault for the really bad people that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, I would never personally like flaunt jewelry like that, even if I was like rich out my ears.
Yeah.
Just because, I'm like the least trusting person when it comes to like walking down. Like I have like conditioned myself to basically focus on what I need to do to survive a walk downtown. Like, so even when I would like go to concerts and then go down to Lake Eola and just walk alone, like, obviously I have more protection against me from like being attacked because I am a male and I'm also white. So, but at the same time, like, I still have high alert on at all times, and I'm not even wearing anything. I'm wearing a fucking like band t-shirt with jeans, and like, I look like a college kid. I would, if I was in his position, I would never wear that kind of shit. But I mean,
you have to be aware of your surroundings at all times.
Yeah, and even when you are, it's still not up to you.
Healthy dose of paranoia is always good.
But you could do a lot to, like, if you're more alert, you have more of a chance than someone who has who's walking down the street with earplugs in. They're on their phone. They're not paying it. People don't pay attention to their surroundings, and that's the key.
But
anyway,
the problem
I wanted to just throw out some prayers for him, make sure he's all right. And
yeah, for sure. And on top of that, not only is he like has his jewelry, that's another thing. But when you're in the hip hop industry, man,
you have a target on your back against me. Yeah,
that's like that's just the nature of it.
It's the culture.
It's really bad. Like when Pop Smoke was shot and killed, it was just like he, accidentally, I don't know what exactly, like his location just sort of leaked on social media, and then someone found it and went and freaking killed him. It's like,
or Jesus. Anybody, man.
Yeah, it's people know you.
Like even like X, when X died, he was like at a motorcycle dealership or something. Like,
yeah,
shit, fucking Nipsey died right outside of
Nipsey
the store.
Too,
yeah,
man.
It's
fucked. More of the story: don't shoot people. Ask for consent.
For sure.
Always, always
and
get
stay
verbal
away
consent.
of your surroundings. Wherever you are,
Yeah.
wherever you are, make sure you know what's around
the
you.
most sexy thing in the world, man.
Consent is sexy. Hard
It
agree.
really is.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Once you know you can do what you want to do, we lit. We out here.
Sure, dude. Let's get it.
All
Communicate with your partner.
right. For sure.
Cheers.
All right, let's get into our anime of this week. It's the Promised Neverland. Took us a couple weeks to watch this, but
Yeah, it's a short show. It's a great show. I recommend it. Go ahead and watch it.
Definitely. So, plot spoilers ahead. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So,
Alrighty.
Well, first off, that intro track is pretty great. Like
It
before I
is,
forget,
yeah.
because I didn't talk about the fucking Demon Slayer track. I don't think when we talked about that show.
yeah, I
But
think we did.
I
touched
don't
on
Not
remember
as
saying
not as
anything.
much as you like were talking about it before about how much you loved it, but I think we mentioned it.
Mhm.
But
Na,
anyway,
na, 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 na.
yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
It's a decent song. I don't like it. I'm not as
It's
I'm not as
cool.
fired up about it as you guys are. I don't think, but
There's a sax solo in there that's pretty great too.
Yeah.
The sax is
yeah,
crazy.
that's true. That's true.
I
It's
just
the
think-
beginning as well. Yeah.
It's like very not reflective of what you're about to watch.
Yeah.
Definitely
That
not.
is
And
true.
in certain parts
I
of the
think
show,
that's the
like
point, though.
like the music just started popping off, and it was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, it wasn't even like pop off music. It was just like really jazzy, like
Yeah.
CD club kind of shit. It was, I
Mm.
don't know.
Yep.
Yeah. It only made sense more towards the ending when stuff was really like they were going action.
There was
Oh, wow.
one scene where there was like an orchestra that was just completely overtaking the entire dialogue, and I'm just like,
Really?
bruh.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
I was like, bro, why?
I don't remember
I
that.
remember that.
Well,
Dang.
probably because I was reading the dialogue as well, as opposed to trying to just
True,
hear it.
yeah.
I probably didn't notice it as much because it wasn't the two audio sources competing with each other. I was just reading. But you watched it
But
in English.
yeah,
I
so-
believe David watched it in both, or Alex watched it in
I
both,
think. I feel like I just watched
Yeah.
it sub.
and then David and I watched sub. Yeah.
I watched dub.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to get the first thing out of the way is so what Alex and I had already seen this, and then
Yes, and
we're
it's-
recommending it to Cameron and Trevor. And so like the big thing is what happens in the first episode, or like
Yep.
the first big thing, obviously.
Which
So-
is the best episode in my opinion.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was late to the party. I did not realize we were talking about this week. So last night at like 8 p.m. or whatever, they're like, "Yo, y'all watch The Promised Neverland, right?" And I was like, "We're doing that this week."
Yes.
So I watched 4 episodes last night, and then 8 episodes this morning.
You're a
So-
madman.
So I watched.
I watched
yeah, I just
6
got done
episodes last night.
watching. What is it, like 20 minutes, 8 episodes? So fucking.
It's 4 hours.
It's not
like 4
quite
hours.
that. It's like 2.5, I think. I mean, the full show,
12
the
episodes?
full show is 12 hours, but I'm talking about the 8 I just watched was like 2.5 hours about. So yeah, so the whole show is about 4 hours. But so
David
yeah,
was making a
I
point.
just
We just kind of like bulldoze over.
I
it.
just completely crushed it. Was David making a point? I'm an asshole.
No, I was just asking about the first thing.
Oh, okay.
Where you're
Yeah. So that's what
Oh.
I was doing. Yeah. So I was texting. They had already all seen it, and I'm like starting out on episode 1 at like 8 p.m. last night. And so I'm like live texting the group while I'm watching it, and we're like 3 minutes in, and like all the kids are like happy and safe and whatever. And I'm talking about like, I was like 3 minutes in, and I'm very sure that everyone's gonna stay happy and stress free the entire series. Like everything's gonna be fine, I'm sure. And it takes all of like 6 minutes for it to. Well, actually, I think it's like 12 minutes into the
It's
first
like half
episode.
the episode.
Yeah, it's like the back half of the episode, it's just when they realize what's going on. But I was like, yeah, the Holocaust tattoos are a dead giveaway that everything's gonna be fine. Like it's gonna be perfectly
Yeah.
okay. That all the children
Yeah.
are numbered and they're in this immaculate orphanage with a fucking caretaker that definitely smiles way too much. I was like you start. This show has maybe the most aggressive foreshadowing I have seen in any anime, where they're like right before the scene where like the mother, what we're talking about is when the mother takes Connie is the first one to go.
It adopts them. Adopts
to
them. They're getting adopted.
to the gate, to the truck, to the monster. And I have a question about the monsters for you, Trevor. That's like a kind of an aside. She takes him there, but right before that, the scene is like wow, you really love Mama, don't you, Connie? And like, and Connie's like, I love Mama so much. And then it just like cuts away, and I'm like, wow, she's about to get fucked by Mama. Like this is the most aggressive, like it was trying to sell me on everything is okay, like so fucking hard that I was like, it's about to just flip the other way completely. Like there's no way it doesn't, like it's gonna happen. So I also said I was glad it got fucked fast, as opposed to like they spend like some like Darling in the Franxx especially like hides a lot of information from you for a while, and they do that well, but I wasn't really that patient with the show, especially since it was 12 episodes. So I'm glad it like the conflict occurs right immediately in the first episode, and then shit goes down for the rest of the fucking show, which is dope. Yeah. So yeah, that's my take on the first episode. Now episode 2. No. I'm kidding. All right, boys. What do you think? What'd you think? You were laughing at certain points about my foreshadowing comments, so go ahead.
I didn't realize like how much it goes down in the first episode until like I rewatched it again.
Yeah.
You know, like what happens in the first episode. And yeah, like you said, as soon as you see that they're numbered, you kind of already know like something's up. Like I didn't know anything going into it either. I was like, what is the Promised Neverland? Some Peter Pan type crap. But I'm like,
I want to talk about that,
you
actually.
in like the intro clip. It shows you in the intro clip like their tattoos.
Yeah.
Rocio's mom came in when we were watching it in the TV room because I went over to her house to finish it. And she comes in and it was like paused, so it shows the logo in the top left of the screen. And she's like, Neverland? Is that are you watching Peter Pan? And I'm like,
yeah.
No, we're not watching Peter Pan.
So this is my segue into talking about the title, because the title is kind of beautifully fucked. And do you guys know what I mean by that?
I mean,
have you read into the title?
A Promised Neverland, like they're promised.
So it's a
promised family.
For me, it's a combo. The way I read it was it's a combo between the Promised Land, which is the land where the oppressed can be free throughout all sorts of religion. Like every religion basically has a story like that of the Promised Land, getting to the Promised Land. Once we get through this, we'll be in the Promised Land and it'll all be fine. So that's what I take from that. And then Neverland, we talk about Peter Pan. Neverland is the place where kids never grow up because they're immortal as kids. But the orphanages are Neverland because kids never grow up because they are killed and eaten. So it's a place where kids never grow up, but it's for a fucked up reason as opposed to a happy, nice one. So
yeah, I kind of like interpreted it in a similar way, but like thinking like they don't know the kids in the orphanage. They only know the orphanage because that's where they grew up their entire life, right? So they really don't know what is beyond their orphanage, and so they're trying to see what it is, and it's kind of like the Promised Land where they don't know what it is, but it's almost like they have to like paint a picture of what lies beyond. It could be better, it could be worse, and we don't know.
Yeah,
that's how I kind of saw it.
It makes sense too, because now, I mean, this is the end of the season, but just setting up for the future stuff. It's like they escaped from the wall, so I imagine like the next season is going to be super different if they're just like fighting beyond the wall.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, and I'm hoping that they expand upon that.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do. Yeah, for sure.
I hope they also expand on the gravity-defying stunts they do.
I was going to fucking bring that up,
brother. Man, he ties an anchor to the tree
and then just walks up.
And he's just like, hey, yo, I'm Spider-Man, and walks up a 50-foot wall.
Yep.
What?
Yep. Brett, like, technically
he was training, bro.
That broke my immersion.
Yeah,
heavily,
because everything up to that point was like pretty realistic, and it's like they're kids, they're not that capable, but they are kind of athletic. But then, like, he just fucking walks up the wall.
They show Homegirl swinging when she was younger. Why didn't he just swing? Why did he have to be Spider-Man?
No, I don't know, dude. That was
whack.
Homie wanted to animate that scene real bad, I guess.
That was mad whack, man.
I think it is like theoretically possible to do it that way. If you to brace yourself against the tree. So if you were holding it like over your shoulder and then you create tension in the rope and then you like walk up the wall like slowly, I think that's physically possible. Like if you use that as an anchor, but you can't just like walk, you can't like run up the wall like he did, like you literally said was like Spider-Man. Yeah, he literally just does it in one go and then is just like standing on top of the fucking wall.
That
and it's
shit
like
pissed me off. That shit pissed me off.
I was
so
like, because I was thinking of that, like he walks up to the wall with the rope and I'm like, okay, how's he gonna do this? Because you can't like he's definitely not strong enough to tie a weight to it that will counter his own weight. So he can't do that. He can't like throw the rope over the wall because then it's anchored to nothing. And he's not going to be strong enough to throw a heavy enough weight over the wall. So it's like, how the fuck is he going to do this? And then he just ties it to the tree and fucking runs up the wall, like just like moonwalks, fucking like crazy.
He has fucking chakra and he just channels it like Naruto. Jesus Christ.
And then they're escaping and like apparently like also, I mean, well, it's way more realistic when they all actually escape, when like they just don't show them walking up, like sprinting up the wall, easy peasy again. But then they can actually, you know, hang a rope down and pull people up. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Then that's the easy part. But it was like they just didn't show it the second time.
Experiments. They had science experiments with the fucking water rockets, and they're just like, "Hey, yo, let's do this." And then when they just fucking launched the shit over, it's like, bruh. Get the fuck out of here.
It was dumb.
Man.
It was dumb, but I was like, they're gonna do this one way or another. I mean, they did the legit one with the rock or whatever.
The legit one
that would work. Like that would actually work.
That would be no. It's fine until you see it spin like 8 times on the branch. It's just like, no.
Wouldn't that happen? Because if there's a heavy weight on it, if you get enough force, it like catches and the force just goes around in a circle and then it stops.
I think that one was. I think that one was realistic. But everything else,
I think that was the only.
I want to get.
But then they were one last thing about the realism. They were also like making the rope they had by tying bed sheets together, which means they would have massive knots in it. And then like when they're zip lining with fucking coat hangers, which fucking some sturdy ass coat hangers, bro, and some sturdy ass bed sheets. But there would be like massive knots in the rope, and you would just get fully caught as you were trying to fucking zip line.
Yeah,
so that was the escape was
awfully.
inherently flawed, but it had to happen one way or another. And the yeah.
What were you saying, Alex?
But fuck,
all right,
that's funny.
I want to get your guys' take because this is something that crossed my mind when I was watching it. So obviously, you know, their brains are it's a human farm. Their brains are like a commodity to this demon race, and that's what they're buying and eating. So when the kids find this out, the older kids, because I think when they're about 12, they have to go, right? Like, older being like 10, 11, 12-year-olds. And they're like, there's like a part where they're speculating, like, how are we going to do this? Like, these younger kids, could we really save them? Because how could we get them through? And some of them were like, we should just do it with just the older kids because we have the best chance of leaving. And then I think Emma, she wanted to like bring everybody. So that's my kind of question. If you guys were like, if in this situation, would you think it's better to go by like as yourself in a small group, or would you want to take everybody, and why?
I would not want to take any of the little kids unless I had the means to carry them. Like, I don't know. It really depends on the kid, honestly, and how adept they are at running and jumping and all that good shit. But I'm not taking an infant.
Yeah.
You know, like
we
don't even know what's behind this wall. We're going across a chasm, and there could be demons like everywhere. The last thing I need is a screaming toddler that wants milk.
Yeah, they know for sure. Like, once they scout it, they know for sure that there's literal, like, miles of forest as far as the eye can see. That's, like, their first step. So, like, even excluding the demons, like, pretend it's just a prison break, like, you're not actively there's not, like, literal evil just, like, wandering the world. It's just, like, a normal prison break. Mm-hmm. You still have to carry, like, they show at least, like, 6 or 7, like, literal infants sleeping in cribs. You still have to carry...
There's 37 of them. There's, like, 37
There's 37
kids
total children, yeah, and, like, several of them, like, at least 5 or 6 are, like, literal infants, like, could not feed themselves. So it's... And you have, like... They have the 5. The 5 are the oldest kids. And then beyond that, they're, like... 8 and 7, and like not an age that's capable of literally taking care of a baby by yourself. So yeah, that would be my qualm is more about like leaving people outside the central group. I think leaving the literal babies behind is an easy call because it's like, okay, we literally don't like. It's like she breaks down in the show of her final decision to leave them there is like they have at least 2 years. If we succeed in getting out and surviving, then we might have the means to come back and save them before they get shipped out. So yeah, I think that's an easy call to leave like the literal infants, because you just have no, like, they're just going to die in the forest because you have no way of taking care of them properly. The other kids, I don't know what I would do,
about,
because
like, 5-year-olds?
It's like outside looking in, like watching it as a show. If I was trying to give myself the best chance at survival, I'd definitely go with just the 5. It's just the 5 of us. We're the most capable, the most athletic, the smartest. We got to get out of here, and maybe we can come back for people. I think that's the decision I would make if I had to make it outside looking in. If I'm literally them and I grew up with everyone and I know they're about to be shipped off and I feel like I can do something about it, then I would probably make the opposite call. I would probably make basically the exact call Emma makes, is to bring everyone who can essentially fend for themselves at least a little bit and who's like decently capable.
Yeah, I think so. Because it's like becomes a central like conflict in the show, which is I love the interesting like mind games and the moral like battles they have between themselves and against the mother and stuff. It's super engaging for sure. I don't know.
Can we talk about how creepy Sister Krona is? She is a little clown.
Yeah.
She is fucking terrifying.
They draw her horrifyingly, like, and she's always got that fucking evil smile and everything.
She's got the Joker. She's got the Chelsea smile, but it's just not like cut into her face.
She cradles that fucking beat up doll that she's had since she was like a child or whatever, that just like looks haunting at this point. I mean, it wasn't a nice looking doll to begin with. Now it's like fully worn and falling apart, and she fucking like stomps its head off at one point. So
her pupils literally like dilate to like 1/10 of their size, and then they look around like fucking a frog eye. It's like she was
a beast, because they had like parts where she was like playing with the kids, like chasing them down, and
sprinting.
she was like fast. Yeah, he was.
I'm fucking swinging my arms like an Olympic athlete right now. Yeah, the way she tears after them in the woods. It was funny. They had like a shonen moment where, you know how like every shonen has that thing where it's like, this is the true power of whoever, right? It's like, this is like, wow, this is like as expected of the #1 ranked hero or whatever. Like they have all that stuff. She does it like almost as a meme, where she's like, so these are the smartest kids at the orphanage, and it's like, goddamn. It's like,
I definitely did that.
It didn't feel like it fit.
Yeah, the first thing I heard about this show was our friend Jose recommended it to me when it was still coming out, and he said it was a horror anime. I don't know, I guess, and yeah, that's like, it's more like
it's psychological horror thriller. Yeah.
That was my biggest gripe of the show, was that it didn't lean in more with the horror aspect, because the first episode is like super creepy. It's like, it's almost like, what the fuck is happening? Like, you know,
it's probably like the darkest part.
Yeah, for sure. And then it just weighs out of it, which is.
I was gonna say, like, the most horror parts are like the sister and the mother, like their expressions and stuff. They're super like. I like how the sister, like, they're both super smart and everything because they were able to escape and like start working for the demons, but like the sister is way more overt and like chaotic and crazy, and the mother is just like half the time most of the time she just super nice, and then like
which very two-faced.
So I listened to a lot of the last podcast on the left, and they cover serial killers a lot of the time, and they talk about their psychology and how they grew up and all this stuff. And she has like literal like 1-for-1 serial killer mentality. Especially like when I wrote that down in my notes about bringing up that she has a serial killer mentality, it was when they go into her secret room and she has the fucking trophies, bro. She keeps a fucking trophy from every kid she sells off. And I was like, that is fucking haunting. Like, that is like, oh my fucking god. Like, imagine discovering that. It was just perfectly fucked up. Where it was like, it's a farmer and her cattle, essentially, is how they paint it every time.
I thought she was gonna have a change of heart by the end of the season, but
I was
I
gonna
think
be
she
mad.
she sort of did, but not
I think
fully.
in the very last episode is like when she breaks from her mentality because I forget. Well, yeah, just like her character, I think is super good because it's established that she was like going to escape when she was young, and she was basically like Emma, and then she made the decision that that it's hopeless, and so now she's betraying all of humanity and just
Yep.
killing kids, and so it's like her entire life is now based around the idea that escape is impossible, and I think it's interesting. Like I think she genuinely maybe does love the kids, but she just thinks they're going to die no matter what anyone does. So I'm gonna like take care of them until they have to die.
I mean, that was her whole mentality. Like literally, like just give up. If you give up, then you'll end your suffering. You'll feel a lot better.
Yeah,
Even though you're not gonna live a full life, you're gonna enjoy what you have while you have it.
She has a very fucked up psychology, for sure. It's not like a normal way of approaching the situation in which she like gave up. She teeters on this wall of like being complicit and enjoying it.
Yeah, that scene where she breaks Emma's leg was like amazing.
That was
really
nuts.
Get a sense of how messed up she is because she's the entire time she's acting like a mother, but she's like breaking her leg and like
you'll be okay. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Bitch, you just you popped my fucking like knee out of its socket. Of course it hurts. I'm going to cry.
That would literally drive me fucking insane. If like her character was like slowly driving me nuts, where it was like, you have fucking you have this one central caregiver figure who is like like a demon, basically. You know that she's like raising and selling you, and then she snaps your leg and then coddles you like like that would like I would be like exploding from the inside out with frustration of like being powerless, of like you're lying there on the ground with the person that just snapped your leg, and they're like, it's gonna be okay, everything will be fine, like you're being coddled and comforted by the person who just snapped your leg. It was like I would explode. I would not be able to handle that amount of frustration of that feeling of weakness and powerlessness.
Yeah,
it was fucking insane. Yeah,
it's like a real life like abusive parent who like gaslights.
Yes,
and it's I think that is like a point towards the idea of it being horror or just psychological thriller or whatever. Like you examine a real type of situation in a super like crazy like setting or whatever. Abusive parents who act like they're doing the best thing for them when they like everyone like the kids know they're not, like they have better sense than them, but super dark, which it's definitely a cool balance between it being dark and it getting hopeful sort of towards the end, which I like. And the what do you guys think of the montage where you figure out like about the mother's past and that like raise her kid and everything? Like,
that was crazy.
I called that like 15 seconds before it happened. I'm just like, what if like I think Rocio legitimately asked me like, is she a mother of the actual children or whatever? And I'm like, Ray. And then it shows him sitting underneath the tree. Yeah. And then she's walking up to it, and I'm just like, hey, I got it right for once.
The way they did that was beautiful too, where it's like the song of the boy she liked that and she was like humming it when he was
he has the memories
in
of
utero. And he's not affected by infantile amnesia, which was I have memories from being a fetus. I've always known. That was like crazy.
that was the stretch. I was just like
thinking, that was
it's a cool device.
Memories of being in the womb. He literally said in the womb. He's like he's like 12 years old.
It's like a dark.
I don't even know what a womb is.
a warm dark liquid. I mean, he reads a fuckload. He reads a fuckload.
I wonder if I thought it was a really cool mechanic. I don't know if there's like maybe not the womb, but maybe people in real life like very rarely don't have infantile amnesia. I'm not sure.
That would be crazy.
Yeah,
I don't think I'd want my childhood memories like that.
I know of people who claim to have memories from when they were very young, but not like perfect memory. Like I can recall the events of the past week very well. I don't think anyone has that for like being less than 1 year old. I would love to be wrong. That'd be crazy. That'd be like a very, very cool like condition almost, I guess.
Think of how that would like So weird. Like I mean, it would be like for the first year since I laid on my back and pooped myself. Like it's not.
Yeah, basically.
All of my memories don't start until about 4 years old.
Yeah, I think around there probably.
I want to say I have slightly earlier, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Like right about the time where I was in preschool, I can remember most of it. I remember when NSYNC was out, like, and Bye 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 came out, and like I was at La Petite, and I was we were having recess or whatever, and there was like this fence, and like for some reason there was a speaker like in the top right of underneath the gutter of the building, and it was just playing NSYNC, and I'm just like, what is happening? But I remember that so vividly. It's really weird.
I remember JT. Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. Fractal memories, but like what you do remember is like super vivid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird what your brain wants to bring with you. Like it'll take certain very minuscule, minute details and almost blow it up, especially in dreams. I feel like that happens a lot.
Yeah.
You just have like a regular day or even a regular week, and then your brain will fixate on something that happened within like a 20-minute time frame and blow it up into something that's like ridiculous, and it's draining when you wake up and you're just like, wow, I just dreamt I was in like an aquarium for 20 minutes, but it felt like 7 weeks, you know?
Yeah. That's interesting. I think it's kind of accepted in psychology now that even as you go on, like your memories are not static. Like you think of them in different ways. So like different parts get emphasized and stuff. And it's really, I kind of want to, I almost try to fight back against that. Like I want to keep the same exact memories and then go forward. But I feel like it impossible. Yeah. I know. I feel like it's so true.
Memory is a very, very interesting thing for sure, and very far from infallible, right? So my example of that is the fact that I broke my left arm. I was at a party, end of season party with my soccer team, and it was the coach's kid, so he had a big backyard with soccer nets, and I was in goal. And one of my boys from the team comes up the right side of the field, takes a shot across the net. I stop it with my left hand. My wrist snaps back, and the force of the ball literally breaks my arm.
Dang.
So that was a friend of mine from the soccer team. My brother, who was not there, had a legitimate got fired up disagreeing with me about this. Thinks that he was the one who broke my arm. He wasn't even there. And he was like very sure when I recounted this story. He was like, or I think he brought it up about like, yeah, when I broke your arm. And I was like, when did you break my arm? And he was like, yeah, you know, when you were 13 or whatever. And I was like, that was actually a kid named Brian. Not you. Like he was like, yes, it was. Like it was definitely me. I was like, you weren't even fucking there. So memory is a very interesting thing, because my brother had like fucking, I guess 10 years later, fully convinced himself that he was the one who broke my arm when I was 13.
Well, I mean, I know there's
shout out Zach if you're listening. Love you, bro.
There's that kind of same thing happened to me when I was with Lucy. We like it was like something really small about peanut butter and the brand name of peanut butter. You know, you obviously know Jif, Jif.
Yep.
She was under the impression that they had switched, if I remember correctly. Like this is like
Jif.
my memories.
No, that's the whole thing.
She was under the impression that it went from GIF to JIF, like recently. Dang. And I was like, no, you're crazy. This has always been Jif, like it's JIF. It's always been that. It's never changed. And she was like under the impression that it did. And I was like,
it's an old ass peanut butter brand too.
Yeah, no, Jif is the shit.
Effect. Yeah, that's like the Mandela effect. Exactly. That's crazy.
Okay, that's probably what it is.
That's very funny.
Where you just remember things completely differently from other people, even though you experience the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And then sometimes people will have the same, like a bunch of people have the same wrong memory, and then people are like, "What's going on here?" And some people think it's like we crossed over into a different dimension. But
you have found yourself a permanent resident of the Twilight Zone.
Dang,
goddamn.
So true.
But keeping with the psychological edge, that's actually definitely what I loved most about the show. It was very Death Note-esque. I thought it was like basically on par with Death Note in terms of like
on par? No. No.
In terms of like,
no.
I wanted to say that because I knew you were going to disagree, but I think like the way they did a lot of the psychology was insanely realistic and very cool. Like the one that I remind myself of, or not remind myself, the one that I find myself thinking about is when they're interrogating the sister about, well, not interrogating, but like asking her questions essentially, and she's explaining to them all the bullshit about everything, and they already know about the trackers, but she doesn't know that they know. So they ask about it, and she says like, "Oh, they're in your ears" or whatever, and they act surprised, but like
no, they
only
don't react.
They react a little bit, but like not that much. But she makes the point, like when they go to leave, she like starts cackling, which is part of her character being very haunting, as you were saying, Trevor. And she's like, "So you already knew about the trackers, because when I said it, you didn't even like touch to check. Like you must have already known. Like if you tell someone that something's in their body, they will always touch to check." And that's like not something that I thought of. They kept bringing in things that like that was like one of the more unrealistic parts of the show to me, was like that these 11-year-old kids are this outrageously clever and think about all these stuff and take every factor into account. Like they are like anime geniuses, am I right? Like that was the whole thing, is like they're like unrealistically insanely clever, but obviously you just kind of give up on that being like a realism thing just to enjoy the show.
But at least they're like supposed to be geniuses in the world.
Yes,
like,
definitely.
That was nice. At least they did that.
Yeah.
They're the main force.
So yeah, I think the psychology was insanely well done. The cinematography was very, very cool. They had a lot. They had a lot of. They did it like one time. They switched to first person a couple of times.
First person, yeah.
And one of them,
when they're like going up the stairs, that was one of my favorite parts of the show.
Yeah. And one of the times is you're in the first person's perspective of her baby doll, the sister's baby doll, and she's smiling in your face, and you're like, ah, I don't like that. So yeah, they did a lot of walking through 3D space where the camera moves, and like so does the space, as opposed to like a lot of anime will be shot from one angle and then the other, versus like they actually move the camera through the animated space, which was cool. So cinematography was great. I think the psych was incredibly well done. I swear they must have hired some like really, really good people to help write that script and to help devise the poker/chess game that they all play with each other about who can you and can't you trust. And that was like the first thing where they play the game is when Norman figures out that Ray's the spy, because he tells Ray that he's gonna tell the two people as a test that this bag is here and this bag is here, or this rope, whatever. But then he tells the two people something completely separate, and then like baits Ray into framing one of them essentially. And that's like that was like super clever, and that was like the first thing they did, and then it only gets more ridiculous and convoluted from there in terms of taking everything into account, right down to Emma's like acting ridiculously depressed for 2 months, but she's like puppet mastering the entire time, setting up for the escape, helping the kids. They're like overseeing their training and all this stuff and like all that. So it was I think it was really, really well done the way they write the chess match, because I didn't find it predictable basically at all. Like usually a lot of these shows is like, okay, well, he betrayed you, whatever, but like right down to the cuts they do when Ray supposedly sets himself on fire, he drops the match, and there you're like, really, they killed Norman, and now they're gonna kill Ray too, and now we're gonna fucking have Emma by herself. And I was like, I can't imagine he's actually dead, but they show him drop the match, and so you're convinced for a second, since they already fucking just straight up killed Norman, which I think he might be alive.
Yeah, no, he's not dead.
He's probably alive.
Sure, yeah.
But like when he goes into that room to get delivered to the demons, like he puts on a surprised face. Like he doesn't have like a horror look, or he doesn't even look like what's there is what he expected. Like I don't think he died at all.
And it's not like what happened to Connie, where she just dead already in the back of the truck.
I don't think he's dead at all.
I don't think So yeah, but they do that where they have her like screaming his name, staring at the fire to bait the mom out, and all this stuff, and then the way they put the pieces together after the fact, like as they're escaping, the the hindsight explanation kind of a thing, when he's like, how did you do this? And it's like this, that, and the other thing, we prepared, whatever. So it was I think
brought salami
very,
to make
very, very well directed as well.
Salami.
I brought salami and bratwurst and bratwurst.
Well, yeah, it was to mimic the smell, and they put hair there too, because burning hair and flesh has a very, very unique smell, and Mama even says something about it. So you can't just burn down the room. Like it helps sell that Ray is in there. And that was the fucked up part too, is they bait her exactly, like they predict exactly what she's gonna do, where she tries to save Ray from the fire. And she goes, if I can at least get the brain. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ, man.
Yeah. Pretty freaked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
definite no vibes for sure.
Well, yeah.
It's very
so that
intense, pretty unpredictable. I liked it a lot.
Kind of leads me into another thought, is like, now what? Because, I mean, the whole time I'm trying to figure out, like, you don't know what is behind that wall. There could be demons behind the wall. Now that they finally escaped, I feel like is when it's really about to go down, you know? Like, I couldn't imagine these demons are gonna just let them go. Like there's gonna be like search parties for them, or like what's gonna happen now.
I mean, they lean into the fact that they're like really lax on security and stuff like that.
Yeah,
because they're just like so determined to believe that they can't ever escape. So I don't think it's gonna pop off very hard. But if it does end up like turning into a shonen where it's just like they're just like they somehow grab swords and they're just fighting demons, I'm all here for it. But I don't think that's gonna happen.
The show, the show is not written that way at all, so I doubt that massively.
I hear very good things about the manga, like continuing from here, and I think season 2 is coming in the not too distant future.
Supposed to be, yeah.
Yeah, in January. Supposed to. Yeah. It was supposed to come out already, but it got delayed already. So
yeah, COVID. Yeah, so
I'm definitely
hyped. Yeah.
Rocio was under the impression that it was a Netflix exclusive, which I thought was pretty funny, but because I was too, and then I looked back at the thumbnail and I'm like, "There's no end."
Yeah, they I believe tout it on Netflix the same way they tout their originals, so that makes sense. That it's like, you know, you see like when Netflix goes inactive and it starts showing you random shows or whatever, and it's like one of the ones. So yeah,
they're very cool.
I have a lot of notes. I can bring up random other stuff, but I don't know if you guys want to talk about specific stuff.
Yeah, if you guys have any other thoughts, because we rambled.
I'm pretty good. I mean, Cameron had something that he wanted to lean on, the aliens.
Yeah.
Oh, we might do that for
I'll switch. I mean, if we're done with talking about the show.
Real quick though, we should talk about our next anime. I think.
Well, wait, should we give it a rating?
Yeah, definitely we should.
Ratings?
Okay, we'll do a rating for Promised Neverland. Yeah.
I'll give it a 7. It's alright.
That's fair. That's fair.
I honestly didn't really enjoy the first half of the show. It definitely picks up, but like motivations were like everywhere for me, and I don't know. Yeah. It was a little boring. I don't know.
It kind of moves from like the climax to like them escaping. It kind of moves like slow for me too.
Yeah, but like the last couple episodes were pretty great.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It kind of has that, you know. It's every anime, I think, that is that length, and like it's the 12-episode anime curse, where you know their goal, like they're the main characters and this is the story, so they're gonna escape in episode 12. Like that's gonna happen already.
That's not even my problem with the show.
It's just about how they get there, and then I found myself a few times like, okay, but what's the point? This is just not gonna matter in 2 episodes, like a couple of the games they play. But the journey they. Like, for the most part, I was not bored. I wasn't, like, I was like, okay, this is an interesting twist. This is an interesting twist. I couldn't imagine watching that show week to week. They cliffhang harder than any other fucking show I've seen in my entire life. It was like, I wrote down in my notes in all caps, God damn it, Phil. Because there's 2 times in the show where they think they're about to get caught and probably killed because of it, and it's just Phil. It's just fucking the 4-year-old, the one that they actually tell about, the one that figures it out, actually, even that the house and mom is fucked.
And they're definitely gonna set him up for stuff in the future.
They like creak open the door at the end of the episode, call it like episode 6 or whatever, and then the beginning of episode 7 is just like Phil popping his head in, and it's like, I thought I was about to fucking die, Phil. You can't do that to me. Jesus Christ. God damn it, Phil.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was fucking funny. Phil was adorable, for sure.
Yeah.
What an awful name for a kid, though.
Yeah.
Phil.
He's way too fucking. He is so
I mean, they say
adorable
it's
for a
you should
Phil.
You should see it in
Calling him Phil. Get the Phil out of here with that.
They say it.
I'll give it 7 Phils out of 10, 12-year-old.
Okay.
What'd you say?
What did you say? What did he say?
He said
He said he'll give it 7 Phils out of 10, 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
What is
He's
that?
alright.
Some fucking rating system used to do that meme. I forget what it
Yeah,
was.
a few of them. Yeah, I give it like an 8 though. I give it an 8. I think I liked it a lot. Or I don't do decimals with shows really. I don't want to get too complicated, but if I did, I'd do an 8.5.
Damn.
There you go.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
I really like
It's exactly what I would do as well. 8.5.
I'm glad.
it. There you go.
If
What
I have
about
to
you,
choose
Alex?
between 8 and 9, I go 8 though.
Oh, yeah, 7. I said 7.
You said 7.
Yeah.
If I had to go
maybe,
between 7 and 8, I'd go 7. I'd get 7.5 maybe, but
maybe I'm just not too like enthused with the idea of like kids being the main characters, but I did enjoy how Erase did it much
Yeah.
more than
Yeah.
I did this show.
Well, better get used to kids being the main characters. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, like that young. I'm saying
I mean, Erased is
like because
slightly
Tanjiro's
different.
14.
Yeah.
Huh?
Erased is slightly different in the fact that the child main character isn't a child technically, right?
Yeah.
Where
Like,
we
they
talked
still
about
have,
that
like,
a lot,
half
where
the
it's
show
like
where he's
where it's like, dude, you're 22
Stop,
or whatever.
yeah.
no, but they're like even then like half the show is him being a kid, so
Yeah,
it
but
doesn't.
he still
doesn't
basically has
affect
a
it the way
superpower, so it adds like another
Yeah.
level of versus like they're just kids as opposed to being kids with a like overwhelming knowledge of the way the world is going to play out for the next 15 years.
There's
I forget how far back he goes.
I think Hunter x Hunter. Well, I won't get into all of them, but there's a lot of animes where main characters are kids, and you just
Yeah.
sort of have to.
But they're
spend-
not that young. Like Promised Neverland.
You're talking about
They're
like
not-
10-year-olds.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
super young.
Yeah.
Most
They're-
like shown it. Like even Naruto he's 12, but he doesn't come off like a 12-year-old.
Exactly.
They
Yeah.
come off like very young kids.
Yes.
Because they're
That's all I'm
they
saying.
they're actually meant to be actual kids, where it's like in
Mhm.
some anime, like their ages are just like,
Irrelevant.
hey, like
There, yeah, it's
yeah,
just
like
there.
you
It doesn't
believe
matter.
Ichigo and Chad are 15, and it's like
Yeah.
they're fully grown men entirely. Like
I don't
yeah.
care that they're kids. I care that they come off like kids. If that makes sense. You know?
What's up,
I get it.
guys? I'm a 12-year-old shonen MC, and today we're going to be fighting God. It's like,
I know,
okay.
Yeah, pretty tough. But all right, now
Now.
last thing I say probably the last order of business for this episode is we gotta do our next anime that we're gonna be talking about.
Yes, true.
So I'm already watching Your Lie in April.
Mm.
I would like to just do that, and then we can do Cowboy Bebop. I'm sorry.
I'm
I
just
know you
watching
wanna talk
Cowboy
about it.
Bebop.
I
I'm
know
just
you
gonna
want to talk about it, but I want to watch that show because it's awesome. I love it so much.
I'm just gonna watch Cowboy and then rewatch it when we finally do it because I can't wait anymore.
That's fine,
so-
but I don't want to talk.
I'm just gonna do that.
I don't like watching multiple shows.
That's fair and fine. Yeah, that makes sense.
We could just wait. I mean, yeah, okay. No, we'll
So
do.
we can do Your Lie in April next. That'd
Okay.
be awesome.
Dang. All right.
Alex,
Have you?
you're-
Who has and hasn't seen Your Lie in April then?
Just Trevor has seen it, I think.
And how many of us haven't seen it? I
Yeah.
haven't seen it.
So David and Alex, you haven't. Trevor's watching it right now, and I saw it about a year more, way more than a year ago. Actually, it's actually at the beginning of mine and Sydney's relationship. I actually remember making a joke. If you watch, like, we're gonna watch Your Lie in April together, and if you fall in love with me, I'm not at fault. And that's basically what happened. So,
Dang.
that was interesting.
David, have you seen it?
No.
Yeah, I've seen it.
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Comes full circle.
So that's
I'm going to say nothing about it because that is how that show is best watched, for sure.
Okay.
I mean,
How every show
most
is
shows,
best watched.
most
Yeah.
shows,
Up there.
lol, all shows, but
Yeah, for life.
yo, well, never mind. I'm done.
All right. Well,
So
I think.
next is
yeah.
Your Lie in April. Cool. Decided.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we should for next week. is going to be a special episode as well.
Yes.
We should put this in the front.
Yeah, we can.
Next week we're gonna re-invite Mr. Brian back to our podcast.
Yes, yes.
And we're going to do another drunk podcast.
Drunk cast.
And we're gonna have some Family Feud, some trivia, some Truth or Dare, Truth or Truth.
I don't know if we're gonna have
truth or drink.
Well,
truth or drink.
Truth or Truth, like, you know, or two truths and a lie, stuff like that.
Drink.
Like,
I wanted to.
We're gonna ask you some hard questions, and you're gonna have to give us some real answers.
I wanted to do True Truths and a Lie as well, because like usually when you do that, it's like an icebreaker at a fucking summer camp or whatever, and everyone's just like, I have a dog.
I like blue.
I'm 13 and my favorite color is blue. Yeah. And it's like, which is the lie? And it's like, my favorite color is green. But if we all know each other. I mean, Trevor and I know each other very well, and know David very well now as well, and getting to know Alex even better. So we all know quite a bit about each other. So I think if we try really, really hard, it could be interesting to try to fool each other with a specific lie or very like truths that sound like lies, you know? So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon as well does this bit where they when he has celebrities on, they do like 2 envelopes and they open one and tell a story, and it's either like a made up story or a fact about their life, and then the other people have 60 seconds to interrogate the person about the story, and they have to answer like as best they can. And if it's true story, that they give all true answers, but if it's a fake story, they have to make up answers about it to try to convince the people that it's the truth. So that's something that we could do too.
I don't know how. I don't think we should do that. I think we should skip or keep with the simple shit. But
it's pretty simple. It works pretty well. But
we'll have some fun and games. It'll be a party episode. It's gonna be fun to have Brian back for kind of the opposite type of episode from the last week. The dichotomy of man, if you will.
We joked and said that he should have a cocktail before he started recording with us, because he was really nervous last week.
As
he almost did. Yeah, but
he had the same thing we had. Yeah, just starting out super nervous.
Next week is Thanksgiving as well.
So anyway,
so yes, the idea was that me, Trevor, David, and Brian are all overage, so those are the 4 players, and then we'll have Alex, who is underage, not drinking, running the show. So that's
just say all this shit.
That's what you can look forward to.
Yeah. So, yeah, tune in.
You want to give him his government too?
What?
This man is underage. Alex, stop him in bars.
Well, I figured we would make that point to say that Alex isn't drinking, so he doesn't get, arrested. So the police don't, FBI open up, bust down his door during the podcast and murder him on camera. But yeah,
breathalyzer on the spot.
Breathalyzer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
We got him.
Yeah, we got him. All right. Anyway,
so that's that.
So what did you have to talk about aliens with?
Oh, let's loop back around. Yeah.
How far? Wait. We've been recording for a while, haven't we?
Yeah.
I think to cut out like a little bit of it. But
I think that's maybe maybe how I want to end the show is about my theory about how the demons got there. And I think personally, my leading theory is that they're aliens. Because you see the calendar, it says it's the year 2045, I believe. He references something about Ray says something about the technology, and it subtitles it as 2015. I don't know if that's a mistake they made, or because I thought it was 2015 the entire time, and then I see the calendar and it says 2045. So I don't know what year it takes place, but the idea, and you see the world map, so this is taking place on Earth. So the idea is like they never, I guess they say like that the implication is that they had no idea that the demons even existed at all before seeing them with their own eyes, right? Like there's no book in their library that says like there's any intelligent life besides humans on the planet. So they have no idea these people exist, or the demons exist. And so how can humankind exist for as long as it has, and then have the demons come from like underground or something? Like that doesn't seem realistic to me. I think they had to come from outer space. So what do you guys think? Where'd the demons come from?
I don't know.
How did they integrate themselves into society? How did they start farming humans?
It all depends on how they choose to take the world building. If they want to make it realistic like Earth, or if I don't know, they could go into the woods and see all kinds of like mythical creatures, and then they take it that direction. And if that is the case, which I could see, then the demons were just like another race, just like everybody. Just like
I mean,
everything.
the whole time I was watching the show, I thought it was like a dystopian kind of thing, but like after the apocalypse, like so. Like how the Hunger Games happens, where they have a peaceful society and then shit pops off, and then now they have to keep them in line. This would be after they're keeping them in line, and then like continuing to like how they have to like they have to pay for their sins by giving their lives to the aliens or whatever because they did wrong. So I think that these aliens, quote unquote, the demons that are in the show, took over Earth, and this is their fun.
So you agree with my theory?
Yeah, for sure.
Is that they're
aliens,
probably aliens? Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
There's
definitely possible.
A day of reckoning in which
they can't. I mean, it is definitely on Earth, and they can't they can't just be in a fucking random forest in Russia.
Well,
just like off the grid, like, hey yo, no one knows what's happening over there, but there's demons and they're eating children, and like everyone else is just living a normal life. I think I don't know.
They acknowledge that they definitely took over Earth, I think. So they either have like a hell dimension that they came from, or they're just aliens or something.
Cool. Very cool.
Okay.
I want to go to hell in season 2.
The very last thing I wanted to say about the overall enemy, the demons, is that they fucking suck at their job. Because you're trying to make the kids as smart as possible so that their brain is like very delicious or whatever. Because I mean, brains grow to the biggest size, but I guess if you're smarter, you taste better somehow. They just kind of say that and then
that's
run
just
with
the
it.
mechanic of the show.
Yeah, it's just the mechanic of the show. So they do that, but like, why have them study things about the real world? Why give them real life skills? Like, if you want to make someone like, because their brain power is like, okay, we have, the ability to memorize, the ability to problem solve, the ability to do all this stuff. You can just have them be like playing unrealistic games and reading histories that aren't real or something like that. Like you can give them all fake information and they learn it and memorize it, and then they're like quote unquote smart. What they know isn't the truth, but it's a safe information to teach the kids because they can't actually use it to escape.
Well, I think they're just arrogant. Like that's how the show was built. Like that's why they're able to afford not having constant security, and that they can get by with just having the mother and the sister and stuff like that. Because they're so convinced that they can't escape. So even if they do have those life skills, it doesn't matter.
Which is why I say they suck at their job.
Yeah. They don't. I mean, it took them. I don't know how long this has been going on, but like this is the first time that they've actually escaped. But they built the island like that specifically to funnel them in there, just in case they wanted to escape, so they could eat them like easily. So I think they're just under the impression that they would never be able to escape. So it doesn't matter what they learn.
I mean, it's the Death Star, right? It's an insanely well built thing, but there is this Achilles heel. There's this one spot that if you hit it perfectly, then you win, whatever. So that's like when I was first watching the show, when I was a few episodes in, I was like, why do they teach them things about the real world? They could easily just like make them memorize Lord of the Rings or something. Like, they could very easily make them like quote unquote smart without giving them any real applicable skills. So
maybe real world experience or real world knowledge is more delicious. You have no idea.
Maybe I'm just a bot. Maybe they tested it out and they were like the guy who proposed this idea at the fucking board meeting got fired because they tried it out and the brains tasted like shit. Maybe that's what it was.
I mean, I think they're just trying to immerse them in the idea that they are in the real world. Like,
that's another. I mean,
they think they're in an orphanage.
You're right.
But they wouldn't
they're in
know.
an orphanage. They think they're being adopted. Like
that's my point. That's my point. They don't know.
But they feel like they do.
Yeah, so you can like make up your own history and teach it to them.
They're just trying to sell them on the idea that everything's fine and that
Maybe real history is
Like,
more
I don't know.
convincing than fictional history. Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah. Well, dang.
All right.
There you go.
Well, I'm late to the meeting, so we should wrap up.
All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and get hyped for next week, I guess. Yeah.
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 So,
Have a nice spicy episode for you, and the week after that, hopefully, we'll be able to tackle Avenged Sevenfold.
Nightmare.
And,
Yeah.
All right.
before we say
Big
goodbye,
boy.
I wanted to shout myself out. When by the time this is up, I'll have a new video up on YouTube. So go check that out. It's CB space LAZ3 CB Lays on YouTube. So check that out.
Drop some special. What game is it?
It's a Modern Warfare throwing knife montage, actually.
Oh, all
Yeah.
right.
Dang.
So
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
It's like 3 minutes long.
Dead
And
game.
I even have enemy spotted. That's in there. So
Dang. Yeah.
it's a
check
fun,
it out.
it's a fun one. It's a fun one.
The clips are killer. Yes.
Yes.
Quite
Be sure
hilarious.
to
And
like,
for-
comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to get all updated
To get
video
updated about my new videos immediately when they come out. Okay, click the bell. Click the fucking bell. Jesus Christ.
And then don't skip ads. Watch all
if
the
you
way.
skip the and they're not. No, my shit isn't
If you-
monetized. So
If you mute, if you want to mute, just put it on low volume. Don't mute it. We need that ad revenue.
once again, not monetized.
Do they actually
but
know if you mute it?
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
I'm
You
sure
can
they
mute,
have a
you can
metric.
mute
Yeah.
your computer, but you can't mute the device
Oh.
that you're using it. Like if you mute the actual video, like on
Mute
your
it.
laptop or whatever, it won't.
Like if
Nah.
I'm on my phone and I turn my volume down on my phone, do they know
Yeah,
I'm not hearing it?
they do.
Oh my god.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
very good.
Twitch specifically has that mechanic of if you mute a stream and then go to a different tab, it won't count you as a viewer.
Yep.
If you
Dang.
leave, I think if you leave the volume on, it'll count you as a viewer still. But if you mute and switch tabs,
Crazy.
it takes the viewer away. So yeah.
You know what? To be honest, I feel like when I use ad block on YouTube on my computer and then on my phone I don't have ad block. When I go on my phone, I get decked so hard with ads. I feel like because my accounts are linked, they know I'm blocking it on my
true.
PC.
Damn.
I just get hit with like 2 ads every video.
You're getting double. Yeah, I mean, YouTube is outrageous with the ads now. Remember, it used to only be, I mean, this has been beaten to death. Everyone said this, that it used to only be, like 10 seconds or whatever, 10-second skippable ads. But now it's like you can get like 2 back-to-back 30-minute ads. Or 30-minute, 30-second
I
ads.
seen a 3-hour ad the other day.
30-second ads. Yeah, there was that random-ass video that was like,
Yeah,
my God.
that one's bad. We
People
can talk
promote,
about that.
people promote some of the weirdest shit, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
Speaking
Thanks,
of
everybody.
promoting shit, but not shit, it's good stuff. Follow us on Twitter to get notified when the new episodes come out every Monday. And then we have a very active Instagram where my man David edits and subtitles and posts both the intro clip every week and a spicy clip from the middle of the episode somewhere. So check that out.
I
Give us a follow.
do the art.
It's at Unboxing Life Pod, and I
I do.
yes, Trevor.
I do the art.
I'll pat you on the back too. Trevor does all the editing for the logos and the titles and the numbering and everything. So
Posts. Yeah.
yeah.
There you go.
And then
All right.
Alex is also on the podcast.
Here you go.
Animations.
Animations, yeah, the animation is you.
He
Yep.
is the reason we have the logo that we have.
Yeah.
So we are forever in your debt.
That's a meme for sure. Yeah, it's Alex. Alex does the if you're watching on YouTube, he created the animation, the fly through the clouds, the Welcome to the Unboxing Life podcast.
Yeah, our audio visualizer.
And of course the logo that wasn't made in Microsoft PowerPoint. So that's always clutch. That's always clutch when your logo came out of someone actually putting skill and effort into it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
There you go, guys.
You guys want to say goodbye to the beautiful people?
Yep. All right. I love you all.
It's been real, everybody.
Adios.
Peace out, baby.